think they may have been on. There we go. Well, good morning everybody, and welcome to the first edition of our virtual Australian Textile exhibition. It's been a huge journey to get to this point where I'm with you today in our studio with some amazing quilts, and I'm so looking forward to showing them to you this week. So the main sort of inspiration, if you like, for going ahead and doing this show is that we have not been able to do what we wanted to do, of course, over the last couple of years. So last year in April we were supposed to hold our 10th anniversary exhibition at the Botanic Gardens, and I don't need to explain why we're not there. And as time has gone on, we've reduced down the size of what we do, and we've held it in our warehouse, which was great. And so now we're to the point where we can't hold it anywhere except here for you on social media, and I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, it's going to be really good, because while we used to have a large exhibition in a huge space, only a few people got to see it. But now we can do it in just my studio, but everyone can see it wherever you are in the world. So I do hope that you will enjoy this, and a couple of times a day I'm going to go live and show you some beautiful work by two amazing, well-known Australian quilters, and then some little mysteries along the way, and a nice big surprise as well with another quilt. Anyway, so where I want to start is talking about the journeys that people go on with their quilting. I know I've shared with you before where I started my journey, and it was a long time ago. I was 18 years old when I started my quilting journey. But when I was 15 years old, the person that made this quilt made this quilt. So that's a fair while ago, and I am really excited about sharing this quilter's journey with you. So we're going to go from some amazing quilts that have been done that are of the highest pristine applique skill level. Then we're going to go to some beautiful quilts that are made by some of my customers. I'm going to show you some quilts that I've been made custodian of as well, which really do reflect some history of quilting in Australia. And then we're going to have a look at some quilts from around Australian Quilter, who is making the most amazing journey, if you like, at the moment, and creating a resurgence in upcycling and recycling some iconic Australian textiles to create some beautiful pieces of work. They just make me smile. All of them just make me smile. So where are we going to start the journey? Because we've got till Sunday to have a look at lots of beautiful quilts. Oh, and don't forget, we've also got our Australian bag challenge on. And I've got just a little bit of some of it here sitting behind me. So we're going to start this journey way back in 1988. And if you have a look at this quilt that's sitting here, you'll go, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Wow, that's amazing. Now I know if I pulled off this quilt, I'd be pretty happy. I'd kind of just go, that's it. I'm done. I've reached my pinnacle. That's it. But no, this quilter, this really was just the beginning. You would think, wouldn't you, that it would be an Eileen Campbell quilt. It's got all the signs of being an Eileen Campbell quilt. It's got beautiful exotic birds. It's got gorgeous fussy cutting. It kind of looks like one, doesn't it? But you go, wait a minute, it's hand quilted. So no, it couldn't possibly be an Eileen Campbell quilt. It is an Eileen Campbell quilt. It's only one of 5 that she has hand quilted out of 320 quilts that she has made. So this is almost a little bit of a flashback, of a sneak peek of where Eileen started her textile journey for me. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up on it at the moment, but this quilt is called Pink Peacock. It was her first attempt at embroidery purse, and you know, you're going to see this week where she's been with that since. And also free machine embroidery. Now, those of you that have been to our exhibition that have seen Eileen's work will go, well, we know where that's going to go. So this is really exciting, and I wanted to start with this quilt just to show you, if anything, to inspire you that wherever you are at on your quilting journey, always treat it as just the start. There is so much more to go, and so many more skills for you to develop, and so many more things for you to try out. This quilt actually won second prize at the Royal Melbourne Show in 1988 as well, and quite rightly so. What we're going to do now is give you a little bit, we're going to zoom the camera in so that you can have a closer look at some of the detail in this gorgeous quilt. So if we bring you in here, okay. So if you, first of all, see this feather work here? So this is really exciting. This is some of the first free motion stitching that Eileen did, and she's used it to describe, to represent the beautiful, delicate fronds on peacock feathers. And you can also see the fussy cutting. So she's worked with 2 or 3 fabrics, and she has done a beautiful job of using the flowers as the eyes for the peacock feathers. You can also see here, again, fussy cutting for the main plumes on the bird. And what's really interesting, and I think it's an amazing skill to have, is to look at fabrics and interpret them differently. So this is actually an oriental wave, an oriental print in here is the wave, and it works beautifully for the feathers on the bird. Now what we're going to do is go in a little bit closer again and have a look at some of the stitching, because this also, we're going to come right in about there. Okay, now we're really showing her up, aren't we? So see this. So Eileen has decided that her main applique stitch that she uses is a satin stitch. And it's such a teeny tiny tight one here too. And I think about, I'm not just thinking about the skill level in this, I'm thinking about the machine that she was using, because we all know now we've got amazing machines that have digital tensions and everything. 1988, she didn't have that. So that's incredible. All right, so let's go back and look at the whole quilt again, just quickly, and then we're going to move on and have a look at some other work. Now, you've got lots of quilts of hers to see this week. There's also a sneak peek on the other side, and we're going to have that one out in full to show you later on. Behind this one, I've got another one of hers. So we're going to take a little break, and I'm going to move across and show you a completely different. If I grabbed 2 mates of the industry and showed them their work, this is about as different as we're going to get. So anyway, isn't it just beautiful? It is lovely. That's the Pink Peacock. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little trip to Tasmania with Rachel Daisy. So let's go and have a look. Right, so over here, let me move this so I can see. There we go. So over here, we have got a Rachel Daisy quilt. You can see the smile on my face. It makes me smile. I love it, I love it. And I wanted to show this one first because, there we go. I wanted to show this one first because I'm married a Tasmanian. That's the simple reason why I wanted Rob to see this one up this morning. So if you have a look, this is beautiful. It's quirky, it's fun, it's like a little bit of an I Spy. So there's lots and lots going on in here. Now, Rachel is so well known for her incredible whiz-bang quilts, and we know she won big prizes with them, and she's out there teaching when she can, not at the moment, but her work is fantastic and it brings a lot of joy and fun to everyone. What I will admit, I am becoming a closet upcycler. And I love what she's doing now with these tea towel quilts. They're fantastic, because how many of us have got a stash that is sitting in the bottom drawer in the kitchen or in the linen closet and we're not using them? I know that I've got some, I actually said to Rachel this morning, I've got some that have come home with us from the UK, beautiful Irish linen. They are never ever going to absorb water in the kitchen. It's just not going to happen. And I'm thinking maybe I shall make myself a souvenir quilt from all of my tea towels that I've brought back, or Mum and Dad brought us back from the UK. So this one, I love it. I want to steal it, but let's have a little bit of a look at it first. This one is, of course, a tribute to the southern state of Tasmania with its amazing, unique flora and fauna, of course. So if you have a look in here, there are tea towels that have got Tassie tigers on them. It's just, there's little splits of Hobart, of lots and lots with the apple on, of course, for the apple isle. The birds of Tasmania are over there. So I challenge you to do what Rachel's done. Go and have a look at what you've got sitting in the cupboard that you have not used. I do like the fact that she's actually fussy cut a circular design from a tea towel for the middle. She also made note in here, there are a couple of little quirky apple motifs and some buttons and things going on for the apple isle. Steve had to help me find where the grapes were. She mentioned the grapes and I couldn't see them, but they were right there in front of me. The other thing that she's done is added prairie points around the outside of the quilt, and I think you can see those here around the edge. So they are to represent the water, and there's lots of blues for water, of course, that have been used, and there's even some that have got fish on them. And there's some of the other colours that have snuck in. Rach said that they're all about the sun reflecting off the water, and I think that's absolutely represents it really well. So I just love the feel of it. Now it's also really heavy, like a wagga quilt, because of the linen that's been used. And that was one interesting thing when I pulled her quilts out to display. They didn't need ironing because the weave is so heavy, and it's an all open weave linen, so it works really, really well, and they've just hung beautifully, and they feel organic, and they feel real. It's just I don't know, it's a really nice extreme way to upcycle what we've got. And she's got me going back into my cupboard looking at what I've got now. You know what, let's go back and look at all of our grandma's doilies and everything and make a quilt. A lot of us did those photographic quilts for a little while, about 20 years ago, with our family and everything in. Maybe we can go back and revisit that and incorporate some tea towels in them as well. There's raw edge applique. There's stitching, there's piecing, there's so much going on in here. So I've got more of Rachel's to show you this week. Every one of them is a tribute to something, and I really hope that you enjoy looking at them. Now, we're going to take a little trip back to the other side, because while I've been actually talking to you, I'm getting used to where the cameras are. While I've been talking to you, Steve's pulled down the first one of Eileen's, and we've got another one revealed. So let's go and have a look at that one. Okay, so now you might just need to adjust, or we can just fit it in, Steve. Look at that. Now, in my haste to get ready this morning, I forgot to pull out the right sheet at the right time to show you. So have a look at that. Is that not just beautiful? We'll do a little zoom in for you in a minute. So what do you think this one is called? Because I'm just looking for the piece of paper from Eileen, and then here we go. What do you think it's called? It is called Unicorn's Garden. Of course it is. So you've got a magnificent tree full of gorgeous birds, absolutely gorgeous birds. And then we've got the unicorns down the bottom, and I am going to zoom in on those for you in a minute. Now, this was for the Quilters Guild of New South Wales 30th anniversary show. Wow, in 2012. It had 2 invited master quilt categories, traditional and contemporary, and this quilt began with, the Japanese kimono silk used for the background, yeah, I believe it, and continuing the theme that she's got with the unicorns. It was actually runner-up in Pictorial Quilt Showcase in 2012 as well, and it won the Best of Country Award World Quilt and Textile Competition in 2013. So we are in very, very good company today. So this quilt, we're going to give a close up on this one so you can have a look at the background and the unicorns on it at the same time. Steve, close up, you're on the camera, close up. There we go. Bit more. Look how we can bring the girls right in so that we can, there we are. There we are. Look at them. Are they not just gorgeous? And you know, these are, I'm going to wheel my chair back a bit. This is all metallic gold on the mains, on the unicorns. Finest metallic gold stitching. There's something about this quilt that last night when I popped it up, I have to say selfishly, the biggest thrill, because I have looked and looked at this quilt so many times. Can you see this kimono fabric in the background? Isn't it beautiful? Just beautiful. Under the Australian sun. Thank you very much. I have looked at it so many times and I thought, oh, nice shades of green, Eileen. It's just beautiful, and I've realised it's my fabric. So it's just that a little bit extra special to me now. Now again, you've got the finest of stitching on the leaves, and this was a limited edition Robert Kaufman fusions that they did a while ago, part of an Imperial collection. It's an oriental print. I would never ever have thought to use it for the bark on trees, but we are looking at something that's truly amazing because she has used it just for that. We would have just used it as a coordinate with oriental fabrics, but she's used it for the tree. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh, what I'm going to do for you, thanks. What I'm going to do is, once we finish the live show, each time we do one, I'm going to straight away take still shots of the quilts and close-ups of the detail and post it up within about 5-10 minutes of each time that we do a little live for you. So you can watch the live later on and then hone in on the details, so I'll add some extra in for you, okay? Now, that's the way it's going to work this week. What I am going to do later on in the week is also do some little demos as we go. So as we get up to some of the smaller quilts where I can fit a table in and things, there's a couple of things I want to show you this week that is really all about getting into quilting as well, not just where these girls have gone with just amazing work, but some little ideas if you want to get started or go back to the grassroots of where you started quilting. I've got a couple of cute little ideas that will not require a cutting board or a ruler or a rotary cutter, all those things that we have grown to know and love and can't live without. And we'll also be showing you some new things from Chandler's Cottage as we go. So we're going to slot those little shows in between the show and tell of the quilts. And of course, we will start showing you from this afternoon some of the entries for the bag challenge as well. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us. This is just the start, and I will be back this afternoon at 2 o'clock for the next viewing for today. And enjoy your day in the meantime. All right, bye.